All right, group, fans, lacrosse community, whoever's watching. This is Mr. Ryder Garnsey. I'm Mike Slippo at Boston University. John O'Dirtna, Manhattan. It's O'Dirtna, but, I like to mix things up on the intro. But let's get right to it. Ryder, how we doing, brother?
Doing well. We're looking forward to a game tonight at 11 Eastern, 9 our time against the Chaos. We've got to get off the snide down 0-2 right now, so look forward to it.
We appreciate you sneaking in with us before this. To be honest, I hit up Rabel. I told him to bail on your game the other day, and he made it work for me. We go way back, so this is worked out. 11 p.m. game. Get to hang out with the boys before. Gas session here.
Yeah, Ryder, we figured he could spend 30, 40 minutes pumping your tires to get you going before tonight.
Need something. Been bad the last 2 games, so anything to get me going.
That's all right. Tell our fans or our people, if we even have that, what coach you called about giving you some insight.
I called Coach Moreland the other day. I texted a couple people, but Coach Moreland and I talked for a while. I was just like, listen, I sucked, and I need somebody to tell me why I sucked. So I talked to him for a while. He broke down some things that I was doing right and some things that I was doing wrong. So hopefully, and I played a little bit better last night, a couple turnovers, but at least I scored.
Hey, that's all that matters. The only reason I had you do that is because the NCAA has all these crazy rules, and I don't want them to come at me, here in Charlestown for saying the guy's name. John, what do you got?
Well, Ryder, let's jump into Coach Slippo's favorite segment, the How You Doings. Mikey, go ahead. Give him your spiel.
Yeah, Ryder, I want to know how you say, how you doing?
How you doing?
That was pretty good.
That's
I'm
really good.
a little bit.
For a New England guy,
for a New Hampshire
beautiful.
guy, it sounded like he was right out of Queens.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You're a Wolfboro guy, right? Is that?
Yeah, Wolfboro. Been there my whole life, so
Nice.
not a bad spot to be in the summer where I've been the last couple months on the lake just hanging out with the fam.
Cool.
Quick geography lesson. I don't know where Wolfboro is. Give me a little info on that. I'm a Long Island guy, so anything north of the city is Canada to me.
It's Wolfboro's like 2 hours north of Boston. Lake Winnipesaukee is the main attraction there. Wolfboro's the slogan or whatever is the oldest summer resort in America, so it's a pretty big spot in the summer. It's only 5,000 people otherwise. But yeah, to answer your question, Slippo, my neighbor actually is a personal trainer and turned his garage into a gym for, basically the whole quarantine. So it worked out really well for me. I was just walking down the road and getting a little bit of a lift in and then heading home. So it was awesome.
That's what's up. A lot of space out there. A lot of good, clean air.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time on the lake.
That's nice. Jealous. Yeah.
Now with that setup, are you in just unbelievable shape coming into this series?
I'm in pretty good shape. I'm not the biggest gym rat or anything, so I'm not going to say that I've got a 6-pack and run 5-minute mile pace for over
Me either.
1 mile. But yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. Feel like I'm as dialed as I can be. I feel good. Feel prepared.
Cool.
Awesome. Cool.
That's awesome.
Why don't you dive into your lacrosse journey, Ryder, and give the people what they want. Talk to us about, what got you here to the 11 p.m. PLL game tonight.
All right. So started playing when I was 5, just the youth league. That was the youngest they would start you in U11. So I was one of the smaller guys just getting tossed around out there for a couple of years.
That's different now, right? You're not one of the small guys anymore?
Yeah. Now I'm towering over everybody.
Sorry,
yeah.
I had to.
The program was pretty new when my brother was brand new when my brother was growing up. So my mom and dad didn't know anything about lacrosse really, but they sort of were coaching and help organize and everything. So it was just second nature that I was going to play because that's what my brother and sister did. So started playing when I was 5, started taking it seriously, tried out for, do you guys remember Nestle?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When I was probably 12, started playing in the summer, the year after that, and then just fell in love with it. I was a big hockey guy growing up, so I spent a lot of time doing that even in the summer. And I remember there was one summer where we were in the playoff round of a tournament on what's the big tournament in New Jersey? Maybe it's not as big anymore, but
Tri-State?
It was Tri-State. Yeah,
Tri-State.
We were in the playoff round, and I had this like big hockey thing that my dad was like, you signed up for this, long ago. You can't miss it. You have to miss lacrosse. And at that point, I was like, all right, well, I'm just not really going to take hockey seriously again. So this doesn't ever happen.
Ryder, if it makes you feel better, I feel like Sunday at Tri-State was like everybody was trying to lose on purpose so they could go. That's my experience.
Yeah.
When I was playing club lacrosse.
Seriously.
That's fair.
When I was coaching it, I was hoping to get out of there early, like nightmare. John, actually, that's when we met. That was the first summer we met. Was my first time going to Tri-State. Yeah. Us Western Mass guys, we never got into the club game, Ryder. So I was worthless to that level until I started coaching. So, well, it's funny. I'm working with the youth group because then you moved on to 3D, right?
Yep.
And I'm working with the youth guys, and actually, because we're allowed to coach them NCAA. But my guy James Bickle with James Bickle Lacrosse says he needs you to come up big tonight. He's got you on his fantasy team. So I hope you like that, Bickle. This is the man, the myth right here. He was all juiced that you were coming on the show. So
I'll see what I can do for him.
Well, keep going. Tell us more.
Yeah. All right. So Nessel, that was like pre-high school. I went to Brewster Academy, which was in Wolfboro. So, it was I never really thought about doing anything else. I didn't want to go to public school because public school lacrosse in New Hampshire is not great. Growing up, I had guys like Stephen Keogh who were at Brewster, who I was like, this guy is unbelievable. I want to be like him. So went to Brewster. My dad actually worked in admissions there. So that was just, another reason why it was just like an easy decision to go there. And he was the assistant lacrosse coach. He doesn't really know much about lacrosse, but he was involved with the program. Committed to Notre Dame a little bit late, at least for, back then. I committed my junior year when most guys were committing, early sophomore. And then even like the next year, guys were committing freshman year. But I committed knowing that I had to do a PG year. There was a couple other schools in the mix. And the only reason it took me so long to commit to Notre Dame was because I was like, I don't really want to spend another year of high school. But it ended up working out. Did a PG year at Phillips Andover playing for Coach Moreland, which was awesome. That was one of the most fun years of my life, playing lacrosse, playing for him, playing with a bunch of guys that are still, great friends of mine. I know Mike Panapinto, Foster LaBeouf. Oh, yeah. So yes, you guys might know some of those names. So That was amazing. Got to Notre Dame, had moderate success. We lost in the quarterfinals 3 years, first round 1 year, so nothing crazy. Won an ACC championship. Didn't get to play my senior year because I didn't take care of business in school. Went undrafted in the PLL, got scooped up by the Redwoods. I think that having a lot of the Notre Dame guys on the team probably helped out. They're probably in coach's ear saying, this guy didn't get drafted or whatever, but I think he can probably help us. And as the season went on, sort of shifted into a little bit more of a prominent role, and then played pretty well in the second half of the year, and haven't played as well beginning of this year, but we're looking to have some success going forward starting tonight.
That's mind-blowing.
Little chip on the shoulder going undrafted?
Yes and no. I mean, it wasn't like – because in the back of my head, I'm like, and maybe this is true or not, I don't know. But in the back of my head, I was like, I would have been the first pick if I was playing my senior year. Like, these guys just haven't seen me play in a while. So it wasn't like a chip on my shoulder as far as like nobody thinks I'm any good. It was more just like they haven't seen it in a while. But once I got in the league, it was more trying to prove Coach Nat and the coaching staff that picked me up right rather than prove everybody wrong.
Sure.
That's a cool perspective. That's a unique perspective that not a lot of people would have. Giving them the benefit of the doubt, like putting it on yourself that you didn't take care of business in school, and if you did, you would have been playing all year, and they would have seen you, and you would have been a first draft pick, etc. But that's really unique. That speaks a lot for who you are, and probably a lot about why you're as creative as you are. Right? Can we dive into that? I mean, I think you're just a unique being, as Rowley would say. Why don't we dive into your game and how you kind of bring your personality into what you do on the field?
Yeah. So I guess my first taste of really good lacrosse was my brother went to Syracuse. He was in the same class. He didn't play lacrosse, but he went there, was in the same, graduating class as Mikey Powell. So whenever I would go visit him, I would try to catch games and stuff. So I got to see Mikey Powell play live a couple times. I was actually at the game where he did the front flip in the game.
Wow.
So that was just like, okay, that's that's the guy that I want to be like, right? And he was doing all these crazy things on the field. So then when I would go home, those were the things that I was trying to do in my backyard. And I thought that was so much fun to watch. I felt like it was a lot more fun to play that way. It wasn't very effective, when I started doing those things. And my dad would get on me pretty good when I would, do those things that probably weren't necessary. But I was pretty hard-headed in thinking that I could eventually pull them off if I practice them enough. And so that I think that's where you see the creativity come out in my game is I've practiced this stuff a lot. And while if you're, just watching me play for the first time or something or don't know me, you're probably, all right, who is this, sort of like jackass? Why is he doing these things that most people probably wouldn't think are effective or, most coaches wouldn't teach maybe. But that's what I'm good at, really. I'm not the most fundamentally sound. I have a pretty good base of fundamentals. I've got not a great offhand, but I can go both ways a little bit. I can do most normal things, but I'm really good at, other things that I've practiced a lot that other guys probably don't see as much.
Okay, Ryder,
Enlighten us.
Okay, so I play with one hand on my stick a lot. And like one thing that I think I do pretty well that you don't see very often, and my college coach didn't really like it, was like if I have one hand on my stick right-handed, I think that I can make every play on the field with one hand on my stick. Like I've practiced, a skip pass or a dunk right-handed or just like a flip to the middle of the field if I'm dodging from X and they slide from the crease. So little things like that where most people would say, okay, just, put in your right hand and throw that pass, where it's just a little bit more comfortable, honestly, for me to just have it in one hand and throw those passes or shoot that way. So I don't know if that gives me an advantage or disadvantage, but it's just what I'm comfortable with.
I think that's different. Like I'm a defensive guy, and for me, I'm always trying to evaluate like what is an offensive guy going to do here? What is something that people typically do? I think being unpredictable makes you a harder cover.
Yeah, I do. But at the same time, the more that I think this is my second year in the league now, I had more success probably last year than I have early this year. So, the scout is out in some ways. So I need to re-diversify my game. I can't just be relying on the same things that I did last year. So if guys are, scouting me to do those things, then maybe it is time to put two hands on my stick and play a little bit more fundamentally, or just find other ways to be creative and effective.
Don't do it. Be who you are. It's funny because when I went from Ithaca to BU, and Coach Stephen Toomey, who's at Tufts now, he was sending me like basketball videos and write-ups on like European basketball players and how the Euro step kind of got into the NBA game and how Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker and all these other guys were so good at jumping off the wrong foot or finishing ways Americans had no clue how to do. But as long as the ball gets in the net, who cares? It's like a right-handed layup on the left-hand side. It still counts for two.
Right.
So it's just, it's really unique. And again, I think to our viewers' points and the James Bickles of the world, the kids who are watching, it's like you practice this. So are you at X, like left to right split, and then you got someone at dive in the crease? Or you just throwing it to spots? Like talk to me through how you practice it a little bit.
I mean, it definitely changes as far as what, our offense looks like, as far as, if it's a spot feeder, if I'm, looking for certain guys in different places for step downs or whatever, my style changes a little bit based on that. Like I'm comfortable throwing more comfortable one hand on the bottom of my stick, just, sort of like a touch pass to the middle to an inside guy, more so than, a skip pass over the top. So it definitely changes a little bit, but I think that I try to incorporate all of those things into my game. Now there are definitely holes that I have, but when I'm in my backyard, I'm like, if I'm doing something pretty well, it's like, okay, that's not the only thing that I need to be able to do out of this situation. So think, and I don't have, 6 guys playing offense with me, telling me exactly where they're going to be, but I try to give myself a skill set that can mesh into whatever offense that we're throwing out there.
I
Awesome.
think what's cool about that, and like every guy we've talked to in this pro series, is how much like visualization goes on, right? Like exactly what you're saying. You got to picture that. You don't have a group out there running 6-on-6 offense with you. It's a certain amount of like, how is my defender guarding me right now? Where would guys be off ball here? I think the greatest players in our sport are guys, or in any sport, are guys that are able to visualize that stuff and put themselves there, even when there isn't anybody else out there with them.
Yeah, I think I did and still do a lot of that. Like we talked about a little bit earlier, I was basically alone with my parents for the last, what's it now, late July, that's what, the 7th month, so like 4 months at home by myself. No one was shooting with me. My dad stinks at throwing, so I can't even have him like feed me the balls and chasing them into the woods.
Hey, you got to work on catching bad balls, right, Mike?
Hey,
yeah,
that's
but
true.
if they're
Bad
30
ball
feet over
passing.
my head, it's impossible. So it's just me out there, doing everything by myself. So yeah, visualization was a huge part of it.
That's
Ryder,
cool.
there was a cool clip. I just want to talk about this because I watched the video. I think you did a thing with Sideline Swap where you were like watching your own plays. And there was like a hilarious clip at the end of a shot clock of you trying to toss the ball to the defenseman. Could you talk to me about that? Like, I just thought that was an unreal, like just a savvy move. And I'm putting myself there as the defenseman being like, if he lobbed me the ball, like I'd probably catch it. That'd be my first instinct.
Yeah. So like we talked about a little bit earlier, how I couldn't play my senior year. But I had a lot of time playing against our ones on the practice field where you got a little bit more freedom, right? Because you're not.
Oh my God, Ryder Garnsey on the scout team as
Yeah,
the coordinator, I would be jumping off the bridge on my way home every day for.
Yeah, Jerry, I can't imagine Coach Byrne. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. So I had a little bit more freedom, just like trying different things out because Coach Corrigan was more so worried about the starting guys. There wasn't as much attention paid to us. So if I screwed up one of those things, it was like, okay, whatever. The starters won, and then their coaches were happy anyways. So I had a lot of time to screw around with different end of the shot clock stuff. And I was talking to Corrigan a lot about little things like that, just bouncing ideas off of him and stuff while I was suspended. So that was one of the things that I was just like, yeah, screw it. If I ever got in a game, I would try it. It didn't end up happening in college, but with the even shorter shot clock in the pros, there's obviously, theoretically there should be more possessions. So that was when I got there and found myself in that situation. I was like, oh, I've done this before, and it's worked in practice before. So why wouldn't it work now?
If it works tonight, I'm going to know why you did it.
Yeah, no worries. So, yeah, this is Well, there's that twister you're talking about. I think we get.
Yeah, that's basically the same goal that I scored last night. Just we pushed in transition a little bit. The guys defensively got lost, sliding up field, lost me behind them, and then just one-on-one with the goalie, got him sliding across the crease. And even though he's a lefty, still put it back near side because I felt like his whole weight was going the other way.
Right. Oh, that's a little high, Dylan.
Yeah, this one, I think the scout on me is low to high there. I got stuffed in the first game actually a couple days ago going low to high in a similar shot, so I just try to keep it low.
Yeah, no, it's great changing your spots, especially if your release stays the same. It's cool.
Yeah, and I don't change it as much as I should. That's one thing I definitely got to work on.
That's all right. Coach Moreland probably told you that. He was probably all over about it. No doubt. All right, now, how much are you you're a big Selly guy, which I love. It's awesome. Huge. But how much are you chirping? Like, how much are you getting between the ears?
I'm pretty obnoxious, like the whole game, basically. I don't really like wearing the mic, but like you don't have a choice, basically. Like last night, I didn't have a choice. And I asked them not to, and then they put it on me. And then in the third quarter, I was just like, okay, listen, this is ridiculous. And I just took it off.
Really?
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm definitely talking the whole time out there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, do you have
very much?
That's all right. Matty Palem, when you see Palem tonight, tell him Mikey Silippo said hello. He was my first lacrosse coach. Tell him Salippo says hello. He'll give you a hug or something. I'm telling
Last
Or-
night, I said something in the first quarter to one of the refs, and he came up to me laughing. and was like, Ryder, are you reffing this game already?
you. Yeah. He might be the best chirper on the field.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why
he's
he's so perfect for it.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
gives it right
you know-
back to you.
Yeah, they should mic him up. Yeah, he used
I
to
feel like
whoop
that's a little
mine.
bit of like the hockey refs mentality, right? Like you ever listen to hockey refs mic'd up? They give it right
Yeah.
back,
Oh, yeah.
and that's
They
what he's
give it
so
right
good at.
back. And especially someone like me who's really obnoxious, who half the time I think I'm right and half the time I'm just complaining. They just need to tell me to shut up.
You know what? At least
No
you
doubt.
can admit it.
Yeah, that's right. At least that's half the battle. This is great. And then, so, I mean, you and Kavanaugh must have spent years together, right? You and Matt?
Yeah, so I played my freshman year with him. I've been watching him play for a while, obviously. A pretty similar player. He's probably a little bit more explosive than I am, but I love the way that he plays and competes. Got to play with him my freshman year, which was awesome. Then I'm very happy to be, reunited with him last year. I think there's a lot of things on and off the field that I have learned and continue to learn from him. So it's been a blast with him.
Now, how'd you decide who gets 50?
He finished in number 10.
Yeah, he didn't have it last year when I got picked up. And I actually wore 13 in my first game because I thought it was kind of weird wearing it when he was on the same team. And then like something got screwed up and they were like, okay, you can't wear 13 anymore. Like someone already has it who was like scratched that game. And I was like, okay, I gave them a couple other options and they were like, no, why don't you just wear 50? And I was like, all right, okay. I don't really have any other preferences, so I guess I'll just wear it.
Mikey, can we run back the last couple of plays? I feel like we're doing this highlight video a little bit of a disservice.
Just not talking about it.
I won't shut up. So
is this good?
Cool, like
Here,
said,
this
Ryder,
Loda, how you doing?
Yeah. Well, I was saying that, and like you talked about, like you're mixing up your placement on these, and then I was even talking about the one where you just went, you cut underneath on that sharp angle and got blasted, but you still finished it. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, Joe said a great pick there. They didn't play the two-man game very well. And then I knew I was going to get laid out. I kind of, wussied out on the real dive. It didn't really dive at all. It got blasted, but it went in. So it's all right. We got the penalty too, actually.
Yeah, that's right. How you doing? That's what sell the body there. This is great. And then you get to be obnoxious when you get up, which is the best part about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can say anything you want.
Let them know that didn't hurt very much.
Yeah, we're not allowed to chirp people, basically. John's like holding his breath now, like, come on, Mike, you have to be nice.
No, that's not true. Oh, yeah, let's get a righty.
Yeah, one of our colleagues would tell me that I'm a lot more creative going to my right hand than I am my left, which is true to some degree, but I'm a little bit, less comfortable going that way.
That's one of your
So this is what you were talking about in college. You're doing push-ups for this one-handed righty here, or?
Yeah, I'm just not throwing that in college. I felt like I had it in my bag the whole time. That's just one of the things where coach didn't think that doing that was as effective as going righty, which, for most guys, he's probably right. But I think that, that's something that I can do and feel very comfortable doing. So it's.
Oh, that's a load of how you doing. Jeez.
Yeah, I had a similar shot in the game earlier where the goalie was like not in the net all the way and I didn't shoot it. I just sort of like tried to place it and I missed. It was a horrible shot and I was just like, screw it.
Right.
I don't care if he's in the net or not. I'm going to blow this by him. And,
right.
Yeah. Don't shoot to score. Don't shoot to place. Yeah, shoot to score. Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah, that's great. I love watching the creativity kind of like unfold.
Yeah.
We had the whole discussion about it, so it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome, Ryder. Well, I got to dive into your being obnoxious, and we can, you don't have to dive into it, but what's your take on this, like, tweeter battle of, Reardon getting chirped and got dead, and then he gets, body bagged last night. I thought it was a great chirp. Very appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to chirp, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to sit here from, throw stones from my glass house. If he's chirping, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I listened to part of an interview with him when he was like, listen, I'm going to chirp. I realize that there is potential consequences that come along with it, and I'll deal with them when they come. And that's sort of the way that I deal with it or, think about it. But at the same time, Apple got suspended today, which okay, that's fine. He gets suspended. It's not a great play. The initial hit I thought was clean.
Yeah.
Second play after that, okay, you get suspended for it, but that's all that it is as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Like, move along.
Yeah.
Right.
And
No, I
Ryder,
love it. Great answer.
yeah, you said you're a hockey guy, or you played hockey. I assume you're a hockey fan being up there. That's Bruins country. I kind of like, I'm starting to equate Gaudette a little bit to like a Brad Marchand right now, because he's playing that agitator role so well of like, I might not fight you, but I'm going to get under your skin and you're going to take a penalty.
Yeah, I would say more like Sean Avery, because I mean, he didn't even score last night. So
That's fair.
That's beautiful. Well, give us a dive into the game tonight. You know, like you said, you're 0-2. Anything for the people about getting back on the winning streak? What do you think?
I think we figured out some stuff in our face-off game last night. We did a little bit better. One of our rookies is a face-off guy. He sort of turned it on late in the first game, and he played pretty well last night.
Yeah, Ryder, I coach at Manhattan, so I dealt with him for 4 years, and I'm ready for him to play on your team.
Yeah, he's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, he's awesome. We lost to them 6-5, and he was 15 of 15 facing off in the game.
Yeah, so he's been good. Our wing play, I think, is going to get a little bit better. Just, sort of figuring out what he likes to do. As far like his communication with them is going to be a little bit better. Putting them in spots where he's going to put the ball and stuff, and if he loses the ball, putting us in spots where we're not going to give up transition or anything like that. Offensively, we're quite frankly horrible in the first game. We weren't getting any ground balls. We're turning the ball over at the worst spots, like top of the box. And a lot of our turnovers are like dodge, roll back, throw it, get picked off in the middle of the field, and then that's just free transition for those guys. So smarter about obviously we're not planning on turning the ball over, but
right.
putting ourselves in positions where if we're going to take risks, those risks are minimized a little bit. Just turning the ball over behind the goal or in the corners or something, shooting it wide rather than turning the ball over at the top of the box and giving them easy goals the other way, because I feel like our defense is really good. 6-on-6, not a lot of guys can beat us. So if we don't give up easy goals, then teams are going to have a tough time scoring on us. But I honestly felt like that started at the offensive end for 75% of the stuff that we were giving up. So I think if we can clean some stuff up offensively, we'll be all right.
I got a question that I'm just curious about. What's it like playing with Kyle Harrison? Like, that dude we're older than you, and he was a guy that I idolized coming up.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know if you guys saw it, but last summer there was like US Lacrosse or somebody did something where my mom, like, she was always threatening to like release this picture. So when I was like 9, my brother and sister live out in LA, and Kyle was living out there. And they both were coaching at like the youth level, and my sister was coaching a high school team. So they had, some connects in the lacrosse world out there. And one time when I was spending a week out there with my sister or something, she somehow got in touch with Kyle and was like, hey, listen, my brother's out here. He loves lacrosse. Is there any way you can take some time and shoot with him? So I have this picture, me and Kyle when I was like 8, and Kyle's however old he was. What's that make him, like early 20s? Yeah. So that resurfaced last year. So it's really cool to be, in the same locker room as him. If he, projects confidence in me, it does a lot for me. It's like, this guy is, like you said, a legend, someone that you've looked up to for a while. So it does a lot when he's in your corner. That's
awesome. Like, especially like you said, you were not feeling great about the way you played in that first game. Like, is he a guy that you would bounce ideas off of? Yeah, for sure. I think that there's a lot of guys in our room like that. Kyle and Joe are, I guess, definitely the oldest guys on our team. So they're definitely people who I value their insight, but also a guy like Cav who plays a similar role to me, similar skill set. And I have a really good relationship with him where he'll give it to me straight as far as, you're horrible right now. This is what you need to right the ship a little bit. So I think if I had to, point to a couple guys, it's those 3 guys that I would bounce ideas off of. Hey, that's a good friend. I tell Mike all the time when he's being, when he's not up to his own standard. Yeah.
That's right. Every Monday.
Every Monday. Yeah, I do a morale check on Mike every Monday and then give him a pep talk.
Yeah.
I think that's like the best
Ryder,
thing.
if you want to be conferenced in on those, let us know, all right?
Well, if I don't play well the next two nights. We play tonight and then again on Saturday. I'll give you guys a text or something on
Hey,
Wednesday. And
you let us know. We're all about the gas, kid. We're all about it. But John probably knows this because John's the nerd of the two of us. That might not be the right word, John, but you're the smart one who remembers things. Our guys are what, 4-0 in the league right now? The guys who've been on back it up?
The Atlas lost to the Archers, but the
right.
back it up bump was real. Joe Nardella, first multi-goal game. Eli shutting down Pinnell the first game he played of his PLL career. Crawley got on the score sheet. Grant, obviously, I mean, he's having an awesome career so far. So maybe this is it. Back it up bump right here, Ryder.
I hope so.
This is what you hit.
Need something.
This is beautiful. Well, John, I mean, I'm good. This guy's giving us nothing but gold. So, I mean, unless you got anything else for him, I think we let him go play some Settlers, Catan with the boys and, you know, build the roads. You know, are you a road guy? Like, what card are you going for? I want to know.
You know, I am so bad. We have played probably 15 times maybe, and I have yet to win since we've been here. Today I've gotten, so you win at 10 points. I've gotten 9 points. Like, I fail like half the games that I've played. So I've mixed up my strategy. I've tried to change it up. I've tried to go for, you know, the cities, the longest road, the largest army.
They're trying to shoot low to low and Settlers of Catan instead of low to high. We got it.
But yeah, I don't have a go-to strategy. I should get one.
You'll figure it out. Who's the winner? Who's the consistent winner?
Apple's probably the best.
Oh,
okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, makes sense. There you go. Makes sense. All right.
Awesome.
Well, great, man. Well, we really appreciate your time, Ryder. This has been epic for us, and we hope that this turns you around and the boys and have a fun night tonight. And we'll be checking in and watching you. And, you know, for everybody watching, subscribe, YouTube. All right. And this is Ryder Garnsey. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ryder.
Thanks,